Hello and welcome back to Alibaba Cards. Today we have two new openings for you. These products have been released last week. Especially Mechanized Madness Structure Deck has gone under the radar, but Secret Slayers has impacted the meta in quite some way. And even though all tournaments have been postponed, there's still a lot of new changes in the meta game right now. And I'm just going to start with the opening. So first of all, the structure deck. It's the Machina archetype, which has been in the game for a really long time, and this support has only been announced 1 or 2 months ago in Japan, and we've received this product immediately over here in Europe, and most people haven't even noticed because right now there's not that much incentive to buy new cards, but you can expect prices to go up once the tournament starts again, so you should better pick all your cards up now. So the first card, the new boss monster, Citadel. It's really strong because you can special summon it anytime a machine is destroyed on the field. And it has a really strong quick effect because you can just destroy all your opponent's monsters with less attack than a card you target. This one is the level 4, it is Alter because you can special summon one guy back from the grave. Also really strong. This is one of the weaker new cards, but this card is absolutely amazing. It's basically like the Gagaga spell. You can just search for 2 Machina cards, and if you discard a Machina card, you can even search the spell and trap. So if you discard any card, you can search for monsters, and if you discard a Machina card, you can also search for spells, which is really strong. And there's some generic machine support in this. Our old school hero, Fortress, it's still one of the best Machina cards. Our Stratos, which is surprisingly not the best normal summon in this deck, because the best normal summon you can play is Scrap Recycler because of Scrap Golem, so you can just loop all your machine effects and get a lot of setup. And yeah, some of the older cards, some of them are new, but most of these sadly are not playable. Then there's some reprints. Kaiju reprint, really nice, because this has also seen a lot of play in Cyber Dragon. Some rank 10 trains. Gen X, which is quite nice with Needle Fiber. Scrap Recycler, absolutely the best machine normal summon in the game right now, because you can use this in Orcus, you can play this in any machine deck, and it's just really strong with Wyvern. A Tuner, also for Needle Fiber. And yeah, right now a lot of machine decks are in the meta because of the Mecha Phantom Beast Aurorodon, so you can just summon a machine tuner with Needle Fiber and go into all your synchro plays from there, but sadly these cards are not included in the structure deck. That you can probably build a combination of machine with synchro heavy combos. And Despots, yeah, these are also just Needle Fiber cards, lefty and righty, and one of the best normal summons in the game right now is Despot 003, because you just summon your Despot 001, go into Needle Fiber, summon another Tuner, go into Aurorodon, reborn this, because this card is reborn when you summon those 2 tokens, those 3 tokens actually, and it's just really strong. And some more support spells. Generic machine support, of course, all of that is in here. This is also a really nice reprint. Another really nice reprint, so this card has become a staple in some decks like Zodiac and Water and Atlantean Mermail, but it doesn't see that much play in other decks. Cosmic Cyclone is also really nice as a reprint, and the cards I wanted to see the most are Trap Trick and Solemn Strike, really nice common reprints. Especially Solemn Strike, because that card always becomes expensive after some time. So that's it for the structure deck, not a lot of surprises. And now I'm going to open Secret Slayers. Next week I will also open the new set for you, Eternity Code, because that's also coming up right now. The sneak peek has been cancelled. It would have been last weekend, but a lot of stores got their hands on the boxes of Eternity Code and we saw a lot of openings online. So 12 packs of Secret Slayers. The cards I want to pull the most are Golden Lord and some of the Emancipator tuners. I think Researcher is the rarest one of them. And let's just search. So these Rika cards are also playable. They're not that strong compared to others. Galaxy Cyclone, of course, really strong. Unizombie, really nice reprint, especially in super rare, because there hasn't been a holo print of Unizombie before. And our first Elixir card. So this one is basically Sanctum, but it also can summon from the graveyard, which is really strong. And if you control an Eldig, you can just summon any zombie. The thing you have to keep in mind with this is that you can only summon zombies after that. Special summon zombies after that, so if you have like something like a Nibiru or Phantasme, you have to use them before you use this. Another Trap Trick holoprint, really nice. Some old school zombies, Crocky Mirror. They have seen a lot of play in the new in the Emancipator deck, especially this one, because you can negate traps, so it's a counter to Evenly Match, and going second it also counters a lot of cards. And one of the better Golden Land traps is Huarkiro, because you can banish any card from the graveyard without targeting. And it has also better stats than the other one. Maybe we can get like half an Eldritch Core out of this box. Some plants, one of the better Emancipator non-tuners, because this one draws you a card and it's the same attribute as Dragite, so you can recycle your Dragite and get the good effect of Dragite to negate spells and traps. More Cricky Mirrors, some generic plant support, and the other Golden Land trap card. So this one destroys without targeting, also really strong, and it's like the main disruption Eldritch has in your turn alongside this one. And these cards are not like the disruption effect is of course really good, but like the main upside of these cards is they're super searchable with your Elixir cards, and they also get you another card in the next end phase, which is really strong. So that card has like that deck has outclassed all other control decks in the format right now, and yeah, it's just one of the most dominant decks in the game. Doki Doki, really strong. That's a 3-off in Emancipator, because you can special summon any rock card and more Elixir. So this is one of the worst ones, because you can just summon from your hand or from your grave, so it's not a starter card. But it has Elixir in its name, and you always have to keep a balance of Golden Land and Elixir cards in your deck, so they can search each other out. Some generic plant support, rock support, Rika cards, and Dragite. So this card is absolutely amazing in any water deck, like even Mermail plays this card and some other water decks, but in Emancipator it's absolutely phenomenal, because you get to bounce cards up to the rock monsters you excavate. So you excavate 5 cards, and for every rock monster among them you get to bounce 1 card on the field, and it also doesn't target, which is really strong. So that's the main way that Emancipator removes your cards before going for the kill. And this is probably the best Eldritch card in the game, because this is Scout, and when it leaves the field, so when it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you also get a Foolish Burial Goods effect, which is really strong. and an Emancipator Researcher. I don't know if that's the good one. You play this card at 3, of course, but you play all the tuners at 3. But I don't know if that's the expensive one. I have to check up. But this might be a really cool pool. I don't know yet. So the main upside of this card is that you get to special summon it whenever you control a walk monster. So what we're seeing right now is that a lot of people are playing rank 4 engines like Metallurgy cards or the PK trap, just to summon Gallant Grenade, search this card and special summon it, and from there you just pop off and summon a lot of rock monsters. So this is probably the best pack we will be pulling today. So Upstart Goblin, really nice reprint. I'm quite sad that it's super rare because we already had a super rare print of Upstart Goblin, which was like a collector's piece. But also really nice to see. I don't know this card, but I've heard Zombie Support. And I don't know this one. Nobody plays this, so it's called El Dorado, so you can't search it with any other card, I think. So what it does is that you get to banish 3 of your banished Eldritch cards back into your deck and draw 1. Yeah, so this could be nice if Eldritch mirrors become popular, because in the mirror match you burn through all your spell and trap cards before you can kill your opponent. This is also one of the better Emancipator cards because it's just something you summon in between before you get out more rock cards. And the quick effect is also quite nice because you can banish your opponent's cards as a quick effect in their turn, but you need a Winter monster in your grave to do that. Another Upset Goblin and another Conquistador. Some Quirky Mirrors, Rickers, Unizombie, and another Sanctum. There's a lot of versions of Eldritch that are played right now. The most popular one is with invoked cards, so with Alistair as your normal sum, because the deck itself does not have a normal sum, and the biggest upside of that build is that Mechaba gets to negate anything you want. Yeah, you don't play this card. You don't play trap cards in your Emancipated deck. It's just like combo deck right now. So back to Eldritch Invoke. So your Mechaba gets to discard spells and traps you don't need, which is really strong. So usually Mechaba only negates monster effects because you only have that Alistair in your hand, but in the Eldritch Hybrid deck you also have a lot of dead spells and traps in your hand which you can discard, so Mechaba can negate stuff like Evenly Match a lot of times. So this one is like your hero list. You just summon your Eldritch, your Golden Lord from the deck in your first turn, and next turn you get to set one of the Golden Line traps, which is really nice. And it doesn't seem that strong to summon Golden Lord from your deck, but you need Golden Lord on the field to make all the other cards better. So now we have a playset of Upstart Goblin, another Trap Trick, Lone Fire Blossom, Block Dragon. This card is absolutely busted in Emancipator. So at first people only played one copy, but hard drawing this card is just so good to play around stuff. So if you draw this card, you can just play through hand traps like it's nothing. And this card is also really good in the grind game because even if they out your board with stuff like Dark Rule No More and Evenly Match, you still have Block Dragon in your graveyard to come back next turn. That's the counter trap of them, but you also don't play this because summoning monster negates is so much better. And now we have a playset of this. Really nice. So because there are only 60 cards in this set, you pull a lot of good cards, or like playsets of cards in one box, which makes this box quite nice. We have our reprint of Solemn Judgment in super rare. This looks like a common on most photos, but because the holo effect is weak. But yeah, really nice reprint, because this card has been staple in every trap deck right now, and it's also staple in a lot of side decks of combo decks, because you need counters to stuff like Dark Ruler no more. More Rickers. The Ricker rank 8, which can tribute cards as a quick effect. This is really strong, and it's also generic, but it's only quick effect if you have a plant as a material, so you can't play this and stuff like Blue Eyes. Cookie Mirrors, Plant Support, Zombies, and another Hokiro, really nice. Our third Galaxy Cyclone and third Unizombie. Another Solemn Judgment. And that's the last Golden End trap you could play. This only reduces the attack of a monster to 0, so it's not that strong, but the monster you can summon with this is a lot bigger than the other ones, because it's level 8 and it has 2/5 defense. And it's just another name, so another Golden Lamp name you can play. Oh, we haven't talked about the counter trap yet, but yeah, maybe we'll pull one. Another Elixir. Sadly that's a one-off, so I don't need additional copies. Play sort of the one you don't play. And that's the Fire Synchro. It's not that good, because yeah, it's not as good as Dragite and the Wind one, but it's still playable. But sadly you don't have enough fire monsters in your deck to use the second effect. Solemn Judgment, another one, really nice. And our third Conquistador. So we have playsets of Upstart, playsets of Solemn Judgment, playset of Conquistadors. This box is just really good because of all the good reprints and the new meta decks. So you will probably need your new Eldritch cards whenever the tournaments will pick up again. The good thing is that Nationals have only been postponed, so I can't see Nationals being played out in autumn, because you don't need international travel for that. I think that's one of the better Ricker cards, but I'm not sure. They have a Strata, so they have like a spell that can just search for Ricker cards. And you can search for 2 if you tribute a plant monster to activate it, which is quite nice. Lone Fire, of course, one of the best plant support cards that has been printed. And our last secret rare is the Adamancipator counter trap, no, the regular trap, which destroys 2. So that's it, guys. There have been a lot of good pulls, like Research. I think that's the best pull I had. And yeah, let me know what you think of the new metagame consisting of Eldritch and Adamancipator. Do you like these new decks? Do you think they're too strong? What's your favorite one? Like, which one suits your playstyle more? And do you think that all the decks like Salamangreat or all the combo decks like Rocket can keep up with these decks? Thanks guys for watching, and see you next week with Eternity Code.